Hi guys, back again. Alright, so today we're going to talk some real numbers for Amazon Video Direct. Real early on I did How Does the Money Work? And we're going to do a brief review of that right now. So Amazon Video Direct, talking the American money, because honestly I don't know the effects rates of everywhere else, and they do change from time to time. But so talking the American money, they pay you 15 cents an hour per viewed hour. So they tell you how much time people have watched in minutes, but they pay you by the hour. So what you need to do first is take your minutes, divide it by 60. Okay, and that's how many hours people have watched. And then you multiply that by 15 cents, 0.15. What you'll find, or what I found in the beginning, so again, I don't know how the FX rates changed, is if you take the amounts they're paying you in other countries and convert that over, that roughly becomes 15 cents an hour also. So by the time when they convert the money over to American money, assuming Americans, those of you who are watching me from other countries, you'll be doing this the other way around. But it basically came out to 15 US American dollars, or 15 cents per hour. So 15 cents per hour. A lot of people, when they first read it, were like, 15 cents a minute. It was getting reported on the internet, there were 15 cents a minute. They're like, oh my gosh, we're going to make a fortune. 15 cents an hour. It is such a small amount per minute, they can't even calculate it, right? So what do you want? So how much do you want to make a month? We're going to go with an easy number because it's just easier to do the math, and then you can multiply from there. Say you want to make $100 a month. You're going to need to pull down 40,000 minutes per month, 10,000 minutes per week. That's actually pretty doable with one or two titles depending on how you market them. All right? So the thing is, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's going to happen for everyone, but I think it'll happen for a lot of you, especially in the beginning. It's harder to do now. It's getting really full on there. It's getting really difficult to just do the social marketing and the social network marketing stuff. But so I mean, look at how few views I have on these videos here. Two or three views is not going to make me anything that I can calculate over there, right? Still doing it. Keep doing it. Things build, right? Things build up. Your audience will build up, and it does over there also. Make sure you have a production company name that is the same on all of your videos if you can help it. Try and keep at least one or two actors on your IMDb list and your movie list on Amazon Video Direct the same in as many projects as possible, because that'll cross-reference. It'll say, they can go to IMDb and more and check IMDb and look for the actor that they liked in there and say other titles, and a bunch of your titles will come up. Okay, so it makes sense to work with the same people who you like over and over again, provided your audience also likes them. But if you put your company name, I believe it also cross-references that. It'll say you might also like. It then does customers also watched. So be sure to collaborate with other filmmakers who make stuff like you do, and try and cross-post your stuff on as many sites as possible. So the same people that watch your stuff watch their stuff, the same people that watch their stuff watch your stuff, and you'll build each other up on Amazon Prime also, because then when people are looking for things similar to your work, they'll find other people watched this person's stuff. But when they watch this person's stuff first and they're looking for stuff similar to this, they'll find other people watched your stuff. Okay, so cross-promotion has always been something I supported, and I still do, and I think it'll still work on there. But so basically, you're going to need a title that pulls down 10,000 minutes at least per week. That's 2,500 per day. I've actually had some 2,500 minute days with all 14 titles now. That's rough. That hurts. It's not what we normally experienced. It's certainly not what we experienced at the beginning. But eventually, a title's been seen by a whole lot of people, and it needs to find a new audience before it builds up again. So they kind of do this thing where they go down to almost nothing, which is terrifying. And then all of a sudden, they'll kind of find a new track of people and build back up. One of the problems I've been finding, though, is even though the titles seem to build on each other, like when one does well, it picks the rest of them all up for a while. It doesn't do it to the point where they all do well at once, which would be fantastic, right? Because 14 titles, okay, only half of them are, only half of the titles are features. So let's call it 7 titles. So 7 titles, we're pulling 10,000 minutes per week, at the end of the, or per month rather, at the end of the month, that'd be $700. They're doing it per week, which is, conceivable. So there's a lot of people on Amazon Prime. That's $700 a week. If you get them to do it per day, that's $700 per day, right? Well, that's right. Not 7 pulling 10,000, because the 10,000 would have to then be multiplied by 4, because you need to pull in 10,000 a week to get to 40,000 at the end of the month. The 40,000 minutes is your $100 point. So every 40,000 minutes people watch, you make $100. So what you need to figure out is how you need to get to that 40,000 minutes, and then keep building on there. If you've only got 40,000 minutes a month coming in at the end of the year, it'll be $1,200 taxable dollars. You don't want to set your movie budgets higher than $1,200 for the next year if that's going to be what your income was from it, right? So you're shooting for better than that. But once you start to figure out what your minutes are, what your sustainable minutes are, don't go by your first month or your second month, because you'll very likely have a movie that hits and pulls 100 or 200,000 minutes your first couple of weeks, and then starts to go down or go up depending on how people respond to it. So keep that in mind. Your 10,000 minutes seems to be a good tipping point. If you're doing better than 10,000 minutes in a day or a week, you're going to probably be able to get past that mark for a little while. But then new stuff hits. They discover new stuff. They get off on the tangent. If you're like me and you do mostly horror comedies, people get in the mood for something different. So time of year is a big factor. That's why we're working on doing a holiday movie this year, because this is the time of year when our minutes drop. And so we want to have something out there that people, gives people what they're looking for this time of year. So we want to have 1 or 2 holiday movies. The other thing I'm finding is the web series not doing too badly, not doing as well as I would have hoped. But for something that was on YouTube for years and was able to be watched for free, and was on Blip for a while and was able to be watched for free, and was on VidMe while VidMe was alive, and was able to watch for free. The number of people who watched it, and then some people bought the series, and some people rented the series, and all fantastic stuff, and it's still chugging along at a rate I'm happy with. I won't discuss actual minutes on here with anyone publicly. Once you get to know me, if you want to ask that stuff, it's fine. But I'm talking like, out for drinks kind of thing. But, so it gets to a point where, I'm looking at a web series might be a little easier to do, because you can shoot it in shorter chunks. And I don't think the simplest things, that all the episodes together add up to a feature. I don't think they even add up to a feature length. I think maybe they add up to like 40 minutes. It's only 6 episodes. Most of them are under 5 minutes. So that'd be 30. And one of them was about 10. So yeah, about 35, 40 minutes. And it's pulling the same numbers as some of the features. So it's definitely easier to shoot a short form web series, something that's under 10 minutes. And it might even be better to do it 5, because people have a short attention span. But if you do it cliffhangery, whereas with a feature film, if you lose somebody in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you may have lost them. They're gone, right? They gave your movie a shot, decided, this isn't working for me, and went to watch something else. And that's one of the dangers with streaming, is they can just stop it, click over, and watch something else. And they may never come back to your movie. They may not come back to it for weeks, whatever. With a web series, you give them the 5 minutes, and they're like, oh, that was kind of funny, and it ended, and I don't know what's going to happen next. Let me watch the next one. Or they might watch it and go, that was kind of funny, I'm going to watch something else now. But if you end on that cliffhanger, they might still want to see what happens next. And it's going to pop up as a web series for them, So if you make something that only comes out to 40 minutes, they may binge watch the whole thing. And it's easier to put those points in to keep people's attention when you're doing short form. It's also always easier to shoot short form, even if you're using locations and stuff, because your actors, if you can keep it to where you're using people in 1 or 2 episodes each, they can show up to shoot 5 pages instead of 15 for the day. Because I know you indie guys, if you're like me, you're shooting 10 and 15 pages a day. Less lines to know, less costume changes, And since sometimes a web series will go from it was something that was happening this week to something that's happening next week, so your continuity isn't as tough to hold on to as if you're shooting this weekend and then next weekend and the person gets a haircut in between. They might not be in it again for 3 episodes. So things can change in between. So we just put yesterday the premiere of season 2 on here, and it's public right now. So season 2 of The Simplest Things, first episode's on here, and it's, again, 7 years old. And we never shot the end of that. I moved before we got to shoot the last episode of The Simplest Things, and I was working on other movies in between. And it was only on here in Blip, and it was not paying anything, so, it kind of got backburned. But now the first season's paying a little bit, so we're going to finish the second season, hopefully this week. I said November, and it didn't happen. And then we're going to get that up and start writing the third season. And I've already got the concept for the third season blocked out, so, and the second season, The Simplest Things, most of these were never written down. They've always just been a script in my head. And that script's been prepared for 7 years. And I actually changed it a little bit. I moved it backwards in time to when, and it's a time traveling script, so I can do that. To when Pratt is going to actually figure out how to get back to our present time and kind of try and set things right in his own Prattish way. Excuse me, my alarm's going off. And I should probably take that as a cue to shut up. But so basically, if you want to make $100 a month, your goal is 40,000 minutes a month, 10,000 minutes a week. If you want to make 200, it's 80. If you want to make 300, it's 120. If you want to make 1,000, it's 40. It's 400,000 minutes a month. And just figure out how you need to market your titles, get your titles. I mean, you can see it's not easy making, buco bucks with this stuff. But if you're pulling $250,000 minutes a month, you're not doing too badly. Especially if you're doing that with one title, and then you have, 7 titles or 10 titles. Pull every old title you can out and start captioning and start getting that artwork ready and do all that stuff so that you can get it out there. And again, if you need help with those things, contact me. I'll do what I can. I'm only going to be taking one captioning client for December because I have 2 more things of my own to caption. And this edit on Jack vs. Lanterns to finish and some school to go to that's completely unrelated to this. But, I will be taking that one client for December, and then in January or February, hopefully I'll be picking up on that again to help people out. So give us a private message on Facebook on that. Look for us at hokefolkprod.com or Jack vs. Lanterns on Facebook, or Hocus Focus Productions, the one in North Carolina, on Facebook. We'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.